Thank you for watching another episode of Devar Malchus, Parsha Shemini. We are currently celebrating Pesach, so Hag Sameach. This from the 26th of Nissan, 57:51 from the fourth day of the week. We are on page 165. Being presently nearing the closing of the month of Nisan, the month of redemption, which is generally the central content, is the Pesach holiday, the time of our freedom, when we thank Hashem for the miracles and the wonders that He showed us. The Exodus from Egypt is befitting for us to discuss the miracles and wonders which took place and are taking place this year in present time. The miraculous conduct of Hashem upon taking the Jewish people out of servitude from freedom of the Exodus of Egypt is not a one-time manner which took place only then at the leaving of Egypt. Rather, in every single generation and every single day, a person is obligated to see himself as if he left Egypt today, to the extent that this expresses itself in actual action of the Seder night, that one must sit leading in a matter of freedom, and as we say in the Passover Haggadah, as the Seder night, Hashem redeemed not only our ancestors from Egypt, rather also we were redeemed with them, to the degree that had Hashem not taken us, our ancestors from Egypt, indeed us, our sons and our grandsons, we would be enslaved to Paro in Egypt, and therefore we were obligated to offer thanks and praise to the one that did our ancestors and us all these miracles. He took us of servitude to freedom, from misery to joy, and from servitude to redemption. And furthermore, the redemption of Egypt opened the way, the channel, and gave the power for freedom and redemption in a miraculous way for the Jewish people throughout all the generations and time. The redemption of Egypt is the beginning and includes all the redemptions, including a redemption that is not the redemption in its literal meaning, redemption from exile, rather than He redeemed us from the pains that come upon us, including also the true and complete redemption with no exile after it, about which it is said, the days that you left the land of Egypt, I will show them wonders. And therefore we say in the blessing, who has redeemed us and redeemed our ancestors from Egypt, in continuation in the end of the passage beginning therefore mentioned above, so Hashem our God will bring us to holidays, the building of your city, and we will thank you in a new song for our redemption. From the above said, it is understood, being that in every generation a person is obligated to see himself as if he left Egypt, and leaving of Egypt is a beginning and includes all the redemption of the Jewish people, that through thanking into the miracles and wonders of the Exodus of Egypt, we can see how they reflect in every single generation, every single day, in the present miracles and wonders through which Hashem saves us from their hands, from those that stand against us in every single generation, including how this brings to the miracles and wonders in the complete redemption, which are similar to the miracles in the Exodus of Egypt, as we shall explain. And this miraculous conduct, which was accomplished for all time at the leaving of Egypt, is even greater revealed in the month of Nisan, which in Nisan we were redeemed, and in Nisan we will be redeemed. And as known, the Nisan is in the name of Nes, miracle, and furthermore, Nisan with two nuns denotes Nissi, Nissim, miracles of miracles, and especially in the second half of the month, which begins with the Pesach holiday on the 15th of Nisan, the time of our freedom, and especially in the calendar layout this year, the year I will show them wonders, when the first day of Pesach was on the day of Shabbos, which in general is a time of freedom in comparison to the other days of the week, being freed from every form of work, also from the work of the need of food, which is permitted on Yom Tov, and we have everything ready, prepared. All the work is done, most certainly, after all 7-8 days of the Pesach holiday, as this is the outside, the land of which the majority and main structure of the Jewish people are, which in the time of our freedom itself, the final days of Pesach holiday are at a higher level of freedom in comparison to the first days. Is known that the first days are connected mainly to the redemption of Egypt, and the final days mainly with the true and complete redemption, with no exile after it, freedom even in comparison to the freedom of the redemption wonders, even in comparison to the wonders of as the days you left Egypt, and from it is and from it is and from it is continued to the present days after Pesach, at the end and culmination of the month of Nisan, which also then we do not say the Tachnun. The custom is to make it completely the whole month of Nisan, wholly similar to Yom Tov in a smaller way. Moreover, all follows the conclusion, and especially that this is also the week of the Parsha Shemini. In this year we read the Parsha Shemini 8 times, and there is known saying the Shemini, Shemona, Shemoneh, is that a year that we read Shemoni 8 times will be a fat year, blessed in the physical sense, and spiritual sense. And now, at the end of the month of Nissan, we are about to complete the 8th time of reading of the Parsha Shemini, which Shemini denotes the miraculous conduct of Hashem, which is above the 7-day cycle of the creation and natural order, and most certainly 8 times Shemini, that we have a year that is filled with miracles and wonders in a manner of Shuman, fat, which permeates the whole thing. The order of the redemption and the leaving of Egypt, when in general the beginning of the redemption and the miracles was with the great miracles even before the Pesach holiday of the smote of the Egyptian with their firstborn, that specifically the firstborns of the Egyptians themselves hit the Egyptians, and in a matter of smote, specifically not killing or the legs, since the firstborns did not kill the Egyptians, only some of them rather smoked them, and on contrary, in smoke there is virtue, and the Egyptians themselves later come to the realization of the miracles. They themselves pushed the Jews out of Egypt. After this, the 15th of Nissan, there was the exodus from Egypt in actuality, and specifically in the manner of, and the Egyptian urged the nation to be quick to send them out. When Paro sent the nation, and the Jewish people went in their completeness with great wealth, their silver and their gold with them in a manner of, and they emptied out Egypt, silver vessels and gold vessels and clothing, including that also what they did not ask from them, they gave them, including the completion of the end of the leaving of the Egypt at the sea of the splitting, at the splitting of the Red Sea. For even when the Jewish people left Egypt, the Egyptians remained in their strength to the extent that the Egyptians ran after them, and there was possible for the fear of Egypt on them. Whereas through the drowning of the Egyptians of the sea, there did not remain of them but one, aside from the one Paro, the king of Egypt, who became the king of Nineveh. After this, so that he will see the miracles and wonders that Hashem did for the Jewish people. As the days you left Egypt, I shall show them wonders. Every person can clearly see how the miracles of the exodus from Egypt are reflected now in the victory in these days, both in the actual victory as well as the time when it is taking place, and especially in the auspicious days of the month of Nissan, which within this year and the specific time in the phenomenon of freedom is even more emphasized and explained above. Already before the holiday of Pesach, there was the smote Egypt with their firstborns, and the firstborn of the nation of the world, including the country of Egypt and the Arabic countries that are near it, in accordance with the decision of their representative in the United Nations, waged war and smote Mitzrayim, Egypt, in Sorer Hehudim, enemy of the Jews, Mitzrayim, an idiom of Metzer, oppressor of the Jewish people, heaven forbid. On the day of Purim this year, the year I shall show them wonders, there was a victory as in the nations of the world announced, and his downfall in a manner of smote, not kill, and specifically by non-Jews, their firstborn, who degraded and disgraced them and forced him to regret his previous activities. He had to agree, accept, and fulfill all the command instructions and demands he got from their firstborn, freeing a position of the prisoners of war, and also fulfilling other things they demanded from him. And afterward, there was the continuation of this, the month of Nissan, and within it itself, the days of Pesach, the time of our freedom, that their firstborns in the United Nations continued to reprimand and disgrace him during the days of Purim, and after this we did not know what would be the continuation, to what degree they will degrade and damage him. How strong will he remain? How will he need to admit and to compensate, and how he will accept others? This will be through others. Afterward, in the month of Nisan, in the days of Pesach, their firstborns came out with a strong reproach and a decision with a conclusion and strong condition, in addition to the previous instruction of how Sodom has to act, and also to see to it that make sure that he fulfills it, freeing the captives, returning what he has taken, and pay for the injuries and damage that he did now, and also for which he has done before. And in continuation of the days of the month, including in the recent days of the month, the miracle was even greater, that he agreed to all of it, and without any protest or war, to the degree that he revealed money and possessions which he hid until now they did not know that he had. With this, we have an answer for the Jewish people who ask presently at the year that I will show them wonders. Where do we see miracles and wonders? Moreover, similar to the miracles and wonders in the exodus of Egypt and Purim, it is only necessary to open one's eyes and look at the recent events in the part of the world as published in newspapers. We see very clearly the miracles and wonders that has happened, and happening similar to the miracles of the exodus of Egypt for the good of the Jewish people and the good of the whole world, beginning with smote Egypt and their firstborn. The firstborn of the nations of the world themselves nullify the power and rulership of the oppressor of the Jewish people and the oppressor of the people, which include non-Jews, and returns which he took away, and pays the damages, including also the hidden things he hid. Moreover, the miracles that are taking place in the days of the year, which are especially connected to the miracles of the Jewish people, the days of Purim, when there was the miracle and victory and the redemption of the Jewish people, and the downfall of the wicked Haman and the oppressor of the Jewish people in the kingdom of Persia and Media. And the redemption is to be near, and the redemption is to be near redemption, the days of the month of Nissan and the days of Pesach, and the redemption of the Jewish people of Egypt, and in a manner of miracles and wonders, his kingship with. The month of Nissan is the 12th year in his kingship, and the meal of Esther and Ahasuerus and Haman, making from all one continuation and matter of thinking into it. Will one recognize in this hands of Hashem? Will one recognize in this the hand of Hashem? Whereas in the present occurs, open miracles and wonders are happening clearly, not seen only to Jews, rather to other nations. And the miracles are happening as said in the month of Nisan, as such that from day to day within the month of Nisan itself, there are new developments regarding the decision of the firstborn in the United Nations, that in the agreement of Saddam, as was in the days of the end of the month of Nisan, the month of redemption, and we expect that there will be a continuation in the direction tonight or tomorrow and the following days. Another matter in recent events in which we have seen miracles, wonders, is the leaving of a vast number of Jews from that country, Russia, in which, similar to leaving Egypt after many years of a conduct that is completely different manner in which the Jewish people were not able to leave from there. Indeed, specifically this year and the year before this country opened its gates to allow Jewish people to leave and ascend to Eretz Yisrael. And even if, for what reason, some of them stopped off and settled temporarily in other countries, in America or Australia or the like, they will very soon move truly, willingly, with joy, gladness, and heart to the Holy Land together with their families, to the degree that that country itself helps them leave, similar to how it was leaving of Egypt, which was the goal of the Holy Land. And I will bring you to the land, including also helping with the hidden things of Egypt, that they use also to the extent of the portion of it, as well as from the other money of other countries, comes to the Jews, our brothers, the Jewish people that came out of, are coming out now in the Egyptian exodus, of the Mitzrayim exodus, in the Mitzrayim, and limitation to that country, similar to as it was at the leaving of Egypt the first time, that they emptied out Egypt to the degree that even what they did not ask for, they would give them. Also hidden things, the instruction from all this is understood. Simply seeing the miracles that Hashem does awakens even more in a Jew recognizing that Hashem is the creator of the world and its conductor, and that he makes the miracles for the Jewish people constantly, and that Hashem saves us from their hand, from those that stand up against us. And especially that the present miracles remind the strength and feeling of a Jew to see oneself as he left Egypt today, and that not only our fathers alone did Hashem redeem from Egypt, rather we also were redeemed with them. The redemption of Egypt is being included, the redemption, even the redemption that he redeems us from the troubles that come upon us, as mentioned above. And therefore we offer praise and thanks that they will thank your name to the one that did miracles for our ancestors. He took us out from servitude to joy, from servitude to freedom, from sorrow to joy. Furthermore, and also importantly, the main way that Jew receives the miracle and accomplishes that Hashem will do even more miracles is through him adding in Torah study and mitzvahs, fulfilling in an extra special way, including the mitzvah of tefillin, which is, of course, a sign and remembrance of the exodus of Egypt. And the whole Torah is equal to tefillin, which through this is the nation of the world will see the name of Hashem is called upon you, and they will fear you, to the degree that the nation of the world will arouse Jews that their success in the past and in the future will be more. It's because the name of Hashem is called upon you, and they will give recognition to your name. And within Torah study itself, especially the inner dimension of Torah study, which through this the Master come, namely the King Mashiach, I will show them wonders in the true and complete redemption. In addition to one's own service, one must see to influence more Jews through spreading the Torah and Judaism and spreading the well springs of Hasidism outward, including and especially to Jews that are coming out now, exodus from Mitzrayim, from that country. And it shall be that the will of Hashem will help every Jew, that he may have eyes to hear and automatically ears to hear, eyes to see and automatically ears to hear, and a heart to understand, to see the great miracles that your eyes saw, and those great wonders, the open miracles take place every day, and especially that we are already past the 40 years being the deserted nation of exile in the state of 40 years. I quarreled with the generation, and we were already that they came to my tranquility in the Holy Land in Yishalayim, including Shalem, completeness of rest, and the true and complete redemption. It is understood that the Jewish people are already ready for this and already have their hearts to understand, eyes to see, and ears to hear, as it was for the 40th year after the Exodus from Egypt. Just as the days you left Egypt, I will show them wonders. And even if there is still a Jew who needs to explain to him until he will see the miracles, since he did not yet realize them, it happens in smooth manner, with pleasant ways and peaceful ways, and with joyous and gladness of heart, is sufficient to arouse him one time about this. And it shall be the will of Hashem that we shall not need to speak and relate one another about the miracles, since every person will see it clearly, show his finger and say, this one, and recognize and offer thanks to Hashem for the miracles, to the degree that he did not embarrassed to go out to the degree that he is not embarrassed to go out in a dance because of the open miracles, since he does not talk himself into thinking that there is nothing to dance for, and make commotion about the miracle that Hashem has shown. Rather, on the contrary, he comes to the recognition, the complete truth that Hashem shows open miracles, and that we must be exceedingly joyous about this. And especially as spoken in the month of Nissan, when all the Jewish people on a level of righteousness has known the difference between the month of Tishrei and the month of Nissan, similar to the difference between the service of return and the service of righteousness. And when we say this is the reason why we say no Tachanun in this time, since we do not need Tachanun in this time, as spoken many times, since every Jew is lifted up as a Nes miracle. I lift up Nes banner to the level of tzaddik righteousness. Automatically, it is not necessary to say Tachanun and Tshuva for the matters of opposite of good. Rather, we have being in this time of tshuva in a matter of bringing tzaddikim to do tshuva. The tshuva is for the fact that he could have done service in a higher way, and the month of Nisan gives even more strength to every Jew and lifts him up even higher. And although his state until now was up high, he is lifted to a level of a miracle above the nature of the world completely, and he sees the miracles of Hashem around him. And as we see, especially regarding the Jews that are coming out of the exodus of Egypt from that country, that notwithstanding the test that they went through, and a portion of them did not have an open connection to Torah study and mitzvah fulfillment, a vast amount of them came to the Holy Land, and they have a connection to Torah and mitzvahs in actuality. Also, although helping another Jew in this, including that they themselves, their children, becoming Torah students, and the ones fulfilling mitzvahs in an extra special way, and even these that in the meantime settled for the different and odd reasons in other countries, that they will afterward also come to the Holy Land, as mentioned above, also and mainly as well, that they all come to the Holy Land, into Yerushalayim, the holy city, in the spiritual sense, Yerushalem, complete fear, not by a nice number of our Jewish brothers from that country, now by a nice complete fear, Yerushalayim, complete fear, as we see clearly in the fulfillment of the mitzvah of circumcision, which is being fulfilled now by a nice number of our Jewish brothers from that country, which they did not fulfill due to the test and hardship, to the degree that they requested they should not delay, and at once bring them into the covenant of our forefather Abraham. One was Abraham. And also, this is the main thing from the joy and singing for the current open miracles. We should literally immediately reach the time when we will offer thanks to you, a new song for our redemption and the true and complete redemption, which then there will be the greatest miracle and wonder. I will show them wonders even in comparison to the miracles, and leaving Egypt and all the Jews, with our young and with our old, with our sons and with our daughters, in every place, that they may be both of that country as well as those that settle in the meantime in other countries, go with the clouds of heaven, similar to how we fly in an airplane, however even quicker, to our holy land, to Jerusalem, to the holy city, to the holy mountain, to the third base of Mikdash. And we hasten this yet more through making every person into a shliach mitzvah for tzedakah, and with addition from one's own money, with great tzedakah, for it hastens the redemption, and especially in the synagogue and study hall and house of good deeds, a trifold house of my revered father-in-law, the Rebbe, leader of our generation. And those who dwell in the dust arise and sing, and he and all the members of his house, souls and bodies among them, together with all the Jews of all the generations. And we take along the synagogue and the study hall, and all the synagogues and study halls. Moreover, and this is the main thing, he did not delay, and he did not blink of an eye, appearing before Hashem and Sion, with our young and with our old, with our sons and with our daughters, have a kosher and freilich of Pesach Zayga bench. Thank you for watching.